I keep saying it. It is because it is Nnamdi, Nnamdi Kanu. If he was a Musa or a Kunle, it would have been different. And that is the issue. You cannot have people who shot at a sitting governor, convoy, who granted press conference to destabilize the country, moving freely. And then you have one man. What did he do that is different from what Gumi have done? What did he do that is different from the governor of Zamfara State, who was fingered to buy vehicles we received, shown by the current governor? And those things are in the desk of Mr. President. The current Minister for State of Defense is a terrorist, has supported terror. I didn't say so. There's a white paper before Mr. President by the sitting governor who said he produced receipts where this young man bought vehicles for bandits. How about them? There are sitting senators who have harbored terrorists in their house. So I want to say an appeal to Mr. President and all our learned judges. They should stop taking Nigerians for granted.
What else does it take? Let us all die. You know, the federal government just turns a blind eye. And I continue to say, and I have sat on the floor of the Senate and I've said it, why has this federal government not ever opened their mouth to say that the herdsmen are terrorists? Why? Why would this federal government not ever agree that all those people who are carrying AK-47s are killing people are terrorists? Yet, it was so easy to quickly go to court to get an injunction and declare IPOB terrorists. That means that in the mindset of those who are running this country today, they see some people as their enemies. They have not come out of the Civil War. 50-something years later, that you can go back from the end of the Civil War till today. If you go from the town of Onitsha to Owerri and go from the town of Owerri to Aba, you will get not less than 140 police checkpoints. Every 1 kilometer there's a police checkpoint. What do? They're not checking for security. They are simply extorting money from commuters on the road, from bus drivers, KK drivers, almost. People pay to be posted to the southeast. And you leave the southeast and you're driving all the way to the rest of the country. You don't see the same type of intense policing, let's put it that way. So what the question you will ask yourself is, why are we different? Or why are we treated differently? That happened a long time before the question of IPOB came. They didn't bring people because of IPOB. It is the fact that all these things had happened, that there was a deliberate policy to cripple all the ports in the southeast region, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Warri, all those ones. None of them is working. You will have to take everything to Lagos. And so you're an importer in Onitsha. You must go to Lagos. The shortest one to you is Warri, actually, before even Port Harcourt, One, all those ones. Why? You can't have a ship pass through there. Why? No dredging. Why is there no dredging? Federal government policy, no contracts for it. So you ask yourself, if this is like this way, then that means that there is a deliberate policy to keep us down or something. And so, what is the reaction? Two ways. You appeal or you fight. And so, you have two sets of people in the southeast now. Those who want to, let's continue talking, let's see how we can resolve this issue. And then those who say, no, we're already down and out. What else does it take? Let us all die. You know, the federal government just turns a blind eye. And I continue to say, and I have sat on the floor of the Senate and I've said it, why has this federal government not ever opened their mouth to say that the herdsmen are terrorists? Why? Why would this federal government not ever agree that all those people who are carrying AK-47s are killing people are terrorists? Yet, It was so easy to quickly go to court to get an injunction and declare IPOB terrorists. That means that in the mindset of those who are running this country today, they see some people as their enemies. They have not come out of the Civil War. 50-something years later, they are still fighting the Civil War. And so what they do today is that they come and call us. I'm a politician. I'm one of those who are seen as, and say, oh, don't worry. If you just be with us, we will make you president. And they think they are talking to fools. And they tell us, oh, don't worry. This is time for Igbo president. No Igbo man wants a president. What we want is that you restructure this country so that me and you, Ladi, we are seen as citizens. So that if I carry an AK-47, you jail me. It's not if I carry a flag, you jail me, and then I carry an AK-47, you say, leave him, he's our brother coming from Burkina Faso. How can that be?
But you haven't touched on what I said.
And what is that?
I tell you, the invasion of the US military will lead to total disintegration of Nigeria. The fire has already been ignited, not by Donald Trump, not by United States of America, but by the inaction of the Nigerian government to take a decisive decision on this issue now that has gotten the global and world attention. It has actually escalated, not by anybody, by people who felt that the world need to get their attention over what is going on, and the Nigerian government seems to be pretending over the killings, that is happening in almost nooks and crannies of Nigeria. Most of them are being covered up without the media reporting about it now. Now it has, gotten to this level. What Bola Ahmed Tinubu it seems to be trying to do now is to do a sort of damage control, but it is vertically too late. You are not going to blame this thing on Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody should blame Nnamdi Kanu for this global attention Nigeria is getting over the killings of Christians to an extent, that is being tagged Christian genocide. So there's a simple disagreement between the government of Nigeria, the people of Nigeria, and the international communities and the world leaders and the world powers. So Nigeria can have not been able to come out and definitely prove a certain point, that what the United States of America is talking about Christian genocide in Nigeria is not correct. Every form of defense they wanted to put up, have crashed and have failed, woefully. So the president of Nigeria now is on a point of, trying to do a sort of damage control, trying to organize, mobilize the southern part of the country, to a one political structure, why the north is maintaining and laying ambush of what is going to happen at the end of the day. So it might lead to total breakup at the end of the day, where there may not be any possible solution anymore, because the intervention of foreign powers would dismantle anything that has to do with sovereignty of Nigeria, and also we enrolled the presidential powers given to Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, who has not been able to tame or to curtail or possibly stop the killing that's associated to jihadist banditry, Boko Haram, and name them, all manner of things, that is going on now. So it's a very clear fact that definitely the Nigerian government will not be able to meet the 2 weeks ultimatum, given by the United States of America, to make sure that everything is rounded up and that is internal security and improvement in terms of human rights and all violations. And secondly, that Nnamdi Kanu should be, automatically, released, either hook or crook. They don't want to know how the government want to do that, because every findings and facts points to the direction, that Nnamdi Kanu is not being tried based on law. Nnamdi Kanu is being tried based on his vocal and exposure of atrocities and criminality carried out in Nigeria by a system that does not understand what it means to be a nation and to provide leadership to that extent. So and you can see, the atmosphere, the trajectory, is heading towards that side of Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerians are celebrating him, in all ramification. He has become a hero, and this national consciousness about Nnamdi Kanu's freedom now is going to play out on whatever decision, judgment that the government of Nigeria is going to pass on Nnamdi Kanu. So what it definitely means that there are different departments. I think United States Department of War has already readied action and in that regard. So what we are seeing is gradual deployment of the Marine U.S. forces in Nigeria, gradual deployment of the U.S. SEAL, gradual deployment of the U.S. artillery, gradual military surveillance on all the targets they need to do. But once there's any strike and there's any reaction, either by omission or commission, by any forces, whether be it ISIS, whether be it the military or police or whatever, it will lead to a certain decision that okay, at this point in time now, this is the boundary and these are no-go areas, and that is what the Nigerian government is actually afraid of. Nigerian government should not be afraid of Nigerian breakup, because we have gotten to the point of no return, where the international community and powerful nations are beginning to intervene on the issue that has to do with Nigerian sovereignty and unity. Then it becomes a serious concern for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Unfortunately, it is going to happen under Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, and to an extent, he has not actually been able to galvanize a massive push to make sure that some of these security challenges are nipped out of the system completely. So the United States of America is angry, and they are looking at options. Like they said very clearly, Mario said it very clearly, I think the chief of staff to Donald Trump, that they are looking at full options, and they are giving Donald Trump full options. Those full options is that in case this one fail, this one would not actually.
But a lot of people are saying the American military in Nigeria, and they're ready to strike. But do you not think that when they strike, the Muslim DRGs there in the north might attack other regions, the other tribes there in the northern part of Nigeria?
Yes. So that is the fear. But with NATO forces, United Nations forces, and other ECOWAS and AU are going to be mobilized in that direction, including Sahel nations. Forces are going to be mobilized in that direction. There will be peaceful disintegration of Nigeria, and that is why they fear that the United States of America will have their military base here in Nigeria to supervise. That military base in Nigeria is going to supervise the disintegration, peaceful disintegration of Nigeria, and the Nigerian government needs to understand that. That this is not a matter of sovereignty. If it's a matter of sovereignty, we have seen also Nigeria, violating, international treaties and sovereignty of so many nations, like the one we witnessed in Kenya, where they invaded Kenya and kidnapped, a British Nigerian citizen, Nnamdi Kanu. So that is also a pointer that if Nigeria can do that, and of course United States can do that, and it's one of the United States international policies to take down any terrorist organization anywhere in the world, irrespective whether you are a sovereign nation or not. It is a policy of the United States of America after what happened at the World Trade Center, where a plane flew into the two tallest buildings in the world, and that was how America arrived at that international policy. So America have every right. In fact, if there's no other place, see, that's what we need currently. Now we need it definitely. This is not. I don't want to see a situation that a process will be set on ground, and you see Nigeria will happen to that process. You know what I mean? By compromising the process and also compromising and or trying to make the United States government, to have another direction or reserve the right of that invasion. Currently now, 37 US lawmakers are already endorsing disintegration of Nigeria. No, but the fact is that, are they saying that the southern part of Nigeria, including the Yorubas themselves, will be named Biafra, and the other part, whatever it is? Because once that is happened, the entire circle of the middle belt is definitely going to be empty, and because we are going to see more of them, leaving that hemisphere, northern hemisphere, and heading to where their faith and their religious culture and tradition will be protected, and they are seeing Biafra as the only nation, as the only country, sovereignty that can protect, and allow them to consolidate and have existence with Biafrans at the end of the day. And over time, Biafra has not been proven to be, extremist to any extent in all ramification. So it is a welcome development, but how the world is going to navigate the issue of, some part of tribes, race who are in the north, who are majorly Christians, the middle belt factor and other, flooding into Biafran land as a Christian nation where they feel that they can be saved and live a liberal life, than to stay in a conservative environment where restriction will be done to them because of religion and faith.
Okay, but the moment the American army strikes in Nigeria, do you think that finally our national sovereignty have been, has been broken?
Let me just tell you very clearly, if the Nigeria is a sovereign nation, so to say, wouldn't have gotten to a point that the international community and the international powerful nation are seeking invasion. That invasion is to protect humanity. That invasion is to protect existence. That invasion is to protect, the weak at the end of the day, and that's what Americans actually, stand for. So it depends on how Nigerian government is going to cooperate with the United States government in that regard. By not trying to create any form of resistance, because any form of resistance, will trigger, Biafran flag, flying in the entire southern part of the country.
Okay, but international Amnesty International are petitioning the ICC. They said what? They said Nnamdi Kanu's case has overstayed too long, and at the same time, they said from their own personal finding that the Muslim jihadis are the one causing mayhem in the southeastern part of Nigeria. That Nnamdi Kanu is not the one causing this mayhem. Do you think that the ICC have what it takes to finally do the needful?
I think that's what actually is going to play out in Finland any moment from now, because we are hearing that the Finnish government are trying to reverse whatever judgment that have been passed on Simon Ekpa based on the current happenings and findings at the moment. So if this kind of as actions and judgment and statement is coming from the International Criminal Court, are trying to say clearly the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is not culpable, Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any crime and known to law, and there's no reason why he should be held in the DSS custody up to this moment. So it justifies that the situation on ground now, that Nigeria need this kind of intervention and solution, because of what is happening. Nnamdi Kanu did not just start up anything. Nnamdi Kanu is a product, of illegality and criminality and killings, and of marginalization and oppression that's happening in Nigeria. He is a product of that, and that is what the world is looking at him, as the symbol of Christianhood, Christianity, Christian kingdom in Nigeria. So everything that's happening within, whether ICC is trying to call the attention of the Nigerian government that Nnamdi Kanu is not guilty of anything, and that now that the Finland government is trying to revoke, whatever judgment they have passed on Simon Ekpa, maybe based on a kind of manipulation or thereafter, shows that Nnamdi Kanu is in the right cause, and of course Simon Ekpa is also in the right cause, because all of them are seeking resistance over killings that is happening in Nigeria currently now. So you can see the ICC coming from that angle. So it definitely is going to take a lot of heads at the end of the day, because people you think that will not be involved at the end of the day, when the whole thing is down, might be invited and face ICC over the atrocities that has been going on in Nigeria. Especially now, even the jihadists themselves are saying that Nigerian government are the one sponsoring them. So it's a very big one, and a very big slap on the Nigerian government. Yes, in connection to that, in that regard, we want to see United Nations, we want to see ISIS, we want to see United States government, Canadian government, Italian government, Australia, Canada, Germany, Japan, so many countries now, including China also, are looking at, how they are going to separate Nigeria, and of course, everyone to go to his respective interests at the end of the day. But I can tell you, the invasion of the US military will lead to total disintegration of Nigeria.
How can they look for somebody that doesn't? You are as a jana never mutton the buyer so upon. Yes, yeah. Kulurada na you and pastor Chima churches. Saka mara lafia sula wuche kwa fajirasa. That's when the best come. That's when never one day ke song adua.
One thing about this thing is that, you see, I've always told you people about Tinubu's administration. What I understand about the change is not about the change per se, or that there is one particular reason for bringing it. It's all about personal vendetta. Tinubu and Obasanjo have been having a running battle over the years. They don't agree. So anything that Obasanjo did, Tinubu has always found a way to rubbish that thing. Remember when he was the governor, Tinubu, Obasanjo seized his local government fund, about 14 billion. And now that Tinubu has got into office, he now sees anything Obasanjo did as a way to get at him. If not, there is no single other reason for removing that national anthem. Because it was the Obasanjo that brought the new one into effect in 1978, before he left office as the military head of state. The question Nigerians should be asking Tinubu, both the old and the new anthem, what is wrong with them? Tell us that overriding reason, if not for this personal vendetta. And this has been going on among the people from the southwest. It has been there over the years. People are not reading meaning into all these things. Look at it yourself. It was the Southwesterner, Wole Soyinka, that stopped Obasanjo from becoming the United Nations Secretary General. The man was almost, in fact, he has almost gotten the job until Wole Soyinka mounted a campaign all over the world against Obasanjo. And that truncated it. Awolowo should have been the president of this country in 1979. Who truncated it? People from the Southwest. You know all of them. People should remember that Wole Soyinka has always criticized every governor that came in, both military and civilian, including Obasanjo. But ask yourself, why is Wole Soyinka in bed with Tinubu now? Does any of you know what is behind it? All of a sudden, Wole Soyinka is now supporting every evil concerning APC. You ask yourself, what is the reason? It is because of this same hatred I told you about. It's not about old age. People say senility. No, Wole Soyinka know what he's doing. There has been that age-long relationship with Tinubu and Wole Soyinka over the years. In fact, at a point, it was reported that Tinubu gave him money. And so because of that, his conscience has been bought. His conscience has been bought. That is the man you regard as Nobel laureate. Who's supposed to be the conscience of this nation today? His conscience has been bought. So everything Tinubu does now is okay. The way Tinubu came into office is okay for him. Let such a thing happen anywhere else. You see Wole Soyinka. So this is what I'm telling you. Go back to history. The reason why these people have not agreed among themselves, it was a curse rendered by Alaafin Araoye. When they betrayed him, he said that they will never agree. In fact, while the man was raining the curse, he spread his two hands like this. Through one evil color, I was splitting it all over the place. He said, as this thing they scatter, and so they go scatter. They will never agree. And as he was saying, he was marching a calabash. And he said that this calabash they scatter, and so they go scatter. They will never agree among themselves. They will always quarrel and fight among themselves. Go back to him. Since that time till now, have they agreed? Have they agreed? The most deadly ethnic and intra-ethnic war was fought in this Southwest among themselves. I'm talking of a war that over 1,006 intra-ethnic war. 1,006 fought in a particular region, the same ethnic group. From Kiriji War to Jabu and Degba War. Go and check. These are the same people that are telling you that they know this. It's not because you have not been given opportunity to go into their history. The Nigeria will know where the problem is coming from. Each time we want to get to somewhere, it is this level that will truncate it. Remember, Ojukwu and Gowon went to Aburi to sign an accord. Accord would have saved us from that civil war. An accord, Aburi Accord, they have already signed. When Gowon came back, it was people from the Southwest who told Gowon, don't agree with this accord. No, Ojukwu has played you. He has used the process to play you. Don't agree. And because of that, Gowon reneged. And Ojukwu said, on Aburi I stand. That's what caused the war. That Aburi Accord would have saved them. And go and look at that Aburi Accord. It's what we are going back to today. It's the same thing we are fighting for today, the same restructuring, the same regional autonomy. That's what Ojukwu and Gowon agreed in Aburi. When he came back here, the people from the Southwest, they truncated it. They truncated it.